Hi everyone. Today we are going to read Surah Al-Aqal, and I'm going to give you a tafsir, a translation, as soon as we're done with the first Arabic version. So starting with Surah Al-Aqal. بسم النور منبع الضياء والمعرفة والليل إذا سكن والنهار إذا تجلى إن في الأرض لآيات لمن توقف وفي أنفسكم أفلا تتساءلون خلقتم من سر في ماء دافئ ثم وهبتم سمعا وإحساسا وعقلا يستبصر وما جعل العقل ليقيد ولكن ليميز ما يكون حقا مما يردده الناس وقد أعرض كثيرون عما داخلهم واتبعوا أصواتا من يصرخون بلا نور هل يهدي من لا يشعر ولا يستفهم فإن النور قد كرمكم بنطقة وعي وبلسان يسمع ما يهتز في أعماقكم فسيروا ببصيرة ولا تطفئوا نور الفكر بخوف التقليد فما نفع العين إذا لم يستبصر وما قيمة العقل إذا غاب عن الحضور والنور قريب مما يسمع بالصدر لا فقط بالأذن والكلمات فارجعوا إلى ما تعرفونه صمتا قبل يوم لا يجدي فيه حنين ولا ندم. Here is the translation of Surah Al-Aqal. In the name of Nur, source of light and knowing. By the night when stillness settles, and the day when clarity unfolds, surely in the earth are signs for those who pause. And within your own selves, will you not wonder? You were formed from mystery in warm waters, then gifted with hearing, feeling, and a mind that perceives. The intellect was not made to be chained, but to distinguish what is true from what is merely echoed. Many have turned away from what stirs within and followed the voices of those who shout without light. Can anyone who does not feel nor ask truly guide? For Al-Nur has honored you with a spark of awareness and a tongue to name what trembles in your depths. So walk with inner vision and do not dim the light of thought with the fear of imitation. What use is the eye if it does not see? And what worth is the intellect if it is absent from presence? And Nur is near to those who listen with the chest, not merely with ears and words. So return to what you know in silence, before a day when neither longing nor regret can restore. For those of you who would like a tafsir of this surah, the intellect, Surah Al-Aqal, here is the tafsir or the explanation of this surah. Verse 1, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَكَنَ, by the stillness of night, when outer noise dissolves, that's when the inner self begins to see. This is an invocation of silence as sacred. The moment the intellect is awakened, usually in solitude. وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى, by the day when truth unveils itself. This verse mirrors the first. When the veil of habit lifts, the intellect begins to perceive with clarity. The tajalli or unveiling is both external and internal. إِنَّ فِي الْأَرْضِ لَآيَاتٍ لِمَنْ تَوَقَّفَ, the earth has signs for those who pause, not those who rush, obey, or blindly follow. but those who stop, breathe, and perceive. Revelation begins with presence. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تَتَسَاءَلُونَ. And within your own selves will you not ask? This is a reclaiming of inward reflection. Here the voice gently opens the door to ask is sacred. خُلِقْتُم مِّن سِرٍّ فِي مَاءٍ دَافِئٍ. You were formed from mystery in warm waters. This evokes both the womb and the soul's pre-knowledge. ثُمَّ وُهِبْتُم سَمْعًا وَإِحْسَاسًا وَعَقْلًا يَسْتَبْصِرُ. Then you are gifted hearing, sensitivity, and a mind that sees. This verse reframes intellect as sacred responsiveness, not mere logic, but conscious perception. وَمَا جُعِلَ الْعَقْلُ لِيُقَيِّدَ. The intellect was not made to be chained, silenced, or shunned. True aqal means to inquire, not to obey. ولكن ليميز ما يكون حقا مما يردده الناس. It was made to distinguish truth from repetition. This affirms what is repeated is not always what is true. A real question to dogma. وَقَدْ أَعْرَضَ كَثِيرُونَ عَمَّا دَاخِلُهُمْ. Many have turned away from what stirs within. The problem is not disbelief, it is a disconnection from self. وَاتَّبَعُوا أَصْوَاتَ مَنْ يَصْرُخُونَ بِلَا نُورٍ. And they followed voices that shouted without light. Religious or cultural noise, loud, confident, but unlit. هل يهدي من لا يشعر ولا يستفهم? Can one who neither feels nor inquire offer guidance? It's a form of rhetorical cleansing. It restores the rightful center of guidance to inner sensitivity. فَإِنَّ النُّورَ قَدْ كَرَّمَكُمْ بِنُطْقَةٍ وَعِيٍّ. For An-Nur has honored you with a spark of awareness. A verse of divine affirmation. Your worth lies not in obedience, but your conscious presence. وَبِلِسَانٍ يُسَمِّي مَا يَهْتَزُّ فِي أَعْمَاقِكُمْ. And a tongue to name what trembles in your depths. Speech as sacred naming, not for preaching, but for honoring inner consciousness. فَسِيرُوا بِبَصِيرَةٍ. So walk with inner sight, a command not to blindly believe, but to see. وَلَا تُطْفِئُوا نُورَ الْفِكْرِ بِخَوْفِ التَّقْلِيدِ. Do not extinguish the light of thought with the fear of imitation. This is liberation theology in verse form. It reclaims fear as the true barrier to divine light. I would like to repeat that. It reclaims fear as the true barrier to divine light. There's a lot of fear that has been put in for centuries around our heart, around our intellect, and this is what is required to feel true consciousness. فَمَا نَفْعُ الْعَيْنِ إِذَا لَمْ تُبْصِرْ. What use is the eye if it does not see? وَمَا قِيمَةُ الْعَقْلِ إِذَا غَابَ عَنَ الْحُضُورِ. And what worth is the intellect if it is absent from presence? These verses cut through shallow intelligence, calling us back to embodied awareness. وَالنُّورُ قَرِيبٌ مِّمَّنْ يَسْتَمِعُ بِالصَّدْرِ. And Nur is near to those who listen with the chest, not just the ears. This verse affirms heart-centered listening as divine intimacy. A reminder, hearing is not receiving. Words mean nothing without presence. فَارْجِعُوا إِلَى مَا تَعْرِفُونَهُ صَمْتًا. So return to what you know in silence. Divine knowledge is not revealed, it is remembered. قَبْلَ يَوْمٍ لَا يُجْدِئُ فِيهِ حَنِينٍ وَلَا نَدَمٍ. Before a day when longing and regret no longer restore. This is not a threat, just a truth. There is a time when returning becomes difficult. Begin now. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'd like to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.